Janardan Maharaj, Janardan.
What? How are you?
Good. Happy to see you.
¿Estás afeitada?
No. I thought I was in the kitchen, so my hair is tight.
Okay. Yo pensé que te habías rapado.
No. Para allá voy igual, porque
Sí,
eventualmente se va a caer.
Ya me están matando, Maharaj, ya me están despachando a mí de entrada, ¿no? Así en vivo, como una viuda, ¿no? Tú sabes, como las viudas y tal.
Y sí, pues...
Gracias, Maharaj. Yo también lo quiero.
Yo pensé que te habías mandado a afeitarse.
No.
Okay. No, yeah, ayer me dieron, yesterday they gave me a booster shot.
Yeah.
Because they're giving for people over 65, so I'm over 65, so they gave me a booster shot.
Dandavas Maharaj is Shamavadi.
Nandavad.
Terrible. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, thank you.
I have no reaction, only sore arm a little bit from where they gave me the shot. But if they give me any kind of shot, I would have a sore arm because the needle goes in far. But this must be modern thing with needles because when they put them in, you don't feel it so much. When I was a kid, if they just showed me a needle, I'd start crying. I used to. There was one doctor my parents took me to, and just by seeing his face, I would start crying because he always gave me some kind of shot. As soon as I saw his face, it was like, oh. Okay. Krishna Mohini. Are you? You're not.
Dandavat, Maharaj. Dandavat.
I don't know. Some people don't want to take it. Some people don't want to take the shot. But I'm the opposite. I'm very anything. Anything that they tell me will help, I go, oh, okay, give it to me. Yeah. I don't follow all the things. I don't what do they now what do they have? Horse pills and stuff. I don't take those. I just take the shot. Oh, Subhadra.
Dandavat, Maharaj. Dandavat.
¿Qué me dice Subhadra? ¿Qué me dice? Ningunos saludos. Subhadra, ningunos saludos.
Dile, Dandavat. Mira, pues. Nada. No quiere hablar, Maharaj.
¿Ella tiene los labios pintados?
Ella dice que tiene pena, que te da pena.
¿Por qué?
No, Maharaj, no.
Yo la conozco desde que era niñita. Desde era niñita. Y ya es grande. ¿Cuántos años tiene ella?
¿Cuántos años tienes hoy? ¿Ah? Tiene 6, Maharaj.
6. ¿Y va a la escuela?
Y
Subhadra,
está en
vas a
primer grado.
Ah.
Dile, sí, dile, sí.
Okay. Okay,
Repite,
Krishna
repite,
Chaitanya.
No me
Yes, Maharaj, Dandavad.
Dhanyavad. How is everything in Ukraine?
I believe fine. It's fine.
Okay,
Oh, Maharaj.
all right. Done. Good. Who is SDD from UK?
I'm guessing that's Saraswati.
Huh?
Guessing that may be Saraswati.
Dandavad Maharaj. Dandavad.
It's you, Saraswati?
Yes.
Are you in isolation?
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm in a bedroom in a temple.
Oh. Are you getting better?
Yes. Getting better.
How many days have you had this?
1 week.
Was very hard? Very heavy?
It different symptoms every day. The worst was headache and kidney pain.
No.
That's about it. I didn't have high fever.
Oh. Okay.
It's pretty much over.
Yeah, yesterday I went in, they gave me third shot, booster shot.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've had 3.
Some
Anyway.
some people here didn't have much good effects with the vaccine. Some people got really ill, and they're still ill.
Yeah,
So-
well, some people I know who didn't have the vaccine, they not only got ill, they died. So,
Yeah.
like Acharya Maharaj, he passed away from COVID. So, and so did Bhakti Charu Swami. Many people I know, many devotees I know, passed away from COVID. So, I would, even if they tell me, oh, they're bad symptoms from the, but I had no symptoms from 3 shots, no symptoms, nothing. But I'm not I only do what I think is preventative. If it helps me, I take it. But I more or less follow doctors. I try not to listen to what the devotees say because they all have all strange ideas about medicine. So I avoid whatever conversations they have because
I mean, I know one devotee from Spain who had the vaccines and she got COVID twice. She even got pneumonia. So I don't know. It varies for everyone.
yeah. But pneumonia is also one of the symptoms that can happen from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have pneumonia, right?
No.
Okay. But anyway, I'm not here today to discuss the vaccine. I personally hope everyone takes some prevention against COVID because I've seen people die from it, devotees, and I prefer even if there's bad reaction, I still prefer to advise people to take some medication, but they don't have to. It's their own. Like people are always saying here in America, which is America, the land of the free. I should say land of the free nuts, but people will say it's against our individual rights for you to impose your will upon us. Okay. And I won't impose my will on anybody by suggesting that they chant the holy names and dance in ecstasy and worship Mahaprabhu and Gurudev and the Supreme Lord. I won't impose my will on anyone. No? Devashis, that's imposing your will to suggest somebody chant Hare Krishna, right?
Yeah, just let everybody do what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Ramakrishna philosophy.
Yeah.
Yatupat tatupat. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you feel good, that's okay.
Right.
No, but they say that you cannot impose your will on other people as far as their individual choices. So that's true. But I did talk to Shambhunath's mother, and she was very much against the vaccination, and then she got really ill for a number of weeks. She's a little bit still recovering from it. And she spoke to me on the telephone, and she said, I should have listened to you. I should have listened to you. This is horrible. She said, this is horrible. I wish I would have listened to you. Several times she told me that. But I get people upset because I'm not very subtle. I'm not very subtle about things. I'm not very adept at diplomacy and speaking nicely. One time, somebody complained to Srila Govindamars that I was a fanatic. And then Srila Govindamars said, I want to be known as a fanatic for my Guru, for my Gurudev, for my Guru Maharaj. I want to be known as a fanatic. So, I don't have to want to be known as a fanatic. I am a fanatic. I don't have to desire to be known as a fanatic. People already
That's okay, Maharaj. I was told on Sunday by one of my oldest friends that I'll be dead within 6 months to 5 years because of the nanites that have been injected into me.
Aha.
I said, what world do you live in? On Star Trek or something? You know, the nanites, come on, give me a break. I said, if I'm still alive after 5 years, you can give me £100. And if I die, I'll leave you £100 in my will.
That's a good deal. I think that's a good deal. You don't have to say in your will, you say, that's like Govindamars. Somebody said, there's a prediction that the world will end in such and such a date, in this date, which was coming up. And they said, what do you think? And Govindamars says, the prediction is wrong. And then Govindamars told us, he says, I can't lose with this prediction because if the world doesn't end, then I'm right. And if the world does end, nobody will be here to say I'm wrong.
Right. Anyway, no one gets out alive, do they? So don't worry.
Not that I've seen. Do we have any questions or comments? Do we have anything from Anonymous?
I think so. No? Not at the moment.
I have two questions.
Rasaraj?
Yes, Maharaj.
What is your question?
Well, one of my questions is that is about the deity of Mahaprabhu in the temple. What is the reason that the deity always is not a sannyasi form? It's like a Vishwambar, like before sannyas.
Well, when it's Ekadasi, do you offer grains to the deity?
Yes, it should be.
You offer grains to the deity. Why is that? Why do you offer grains?
Because no regulation for the deities.
Of course. Then does the deity take sannyas? I don't think so.
No, but I mean, is there a reason to be?
The mood of the devotees is they don't want to see the Lord with a shaved head and as a renunciate. Look what
Yeah, that's what I
Nityananda
think.
Prabhu did. Nityananda broke the sannyas danda of Mahaprabhu and threw it in the river.
Yes.
Because he knows that Mahaprabhu is not bound by the regulations of sannyas, he's the Supreme Lord. Like here, have a japa mala bag. It's white in color, but I wear saffron. Why didn't I dye this japa mala bag saffron? Because the mala is a deity. The mala, I have sannyas, so I use saffron. But my bead bag is white because the mala is a deity. The deity doesn't. The deity is the Supreme Lord. The japa mala is Namachintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purno Shuddham Nityamukto Binatvam Namanamino. The name of Krishna is always equal to the Krishna himself.
Okay, and you're not on camera, so don't worry. Okay.
What?
Oh, I have to go out. Where
Okay.
are you going?
I'll see you later, Anjali.
She's not on the camera. Her camera doesn't work.
I know, but I hear her.
Can you hear me?
She's going out, so we'll see you later.
No, I'm going out the room, not Ashley.
No, Lavanya is. Everyone's been a little bit. Not to tell.
Busy.
When I say we're not well.
I heard, so you're going out to spread COVID?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have to see how I feel.
Okay.
No,
right.
I don't have it, Maharaj, but I've had flu or something, flu.
Well,
But I recovered in 3 days.
Be very careful because this thing spreads from born mouth to born mouth. All right, Dandavas. All right, back to Rasaraj's question. Rasaraj, the Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in a poem, he says to seeing himself from, where is it, the house of Vidyaspati, Vidyaspati. When Mahaprabhu returned, then it's from there, right? Devashis.
Yeah, yes, Maharaj, yeah.
From the roof of Vidyavachaspati, he's seeing Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi and feeling some pain and saying, when will you take off those sannyas robes and return to us as being one of everyone in Navadip? And this is naturally the sentiment, just like it is said that Mahaprabhu never, it's said, for instance, that Krishna never takes one step out of Vrindavan. So for the devotees, they always want to see Mahaprabhu in what is Vrindavan? What is Vrindavan? Vrindavan is Navadip. When Mahaprabhu was present in Navadip, everyone, the devotees, of course, then Mahaprabhu is dressing very nicely, and he's one of the people. But after he took sannyas, of course, maybe some persons didn't know who Mahaprabhu was, and then they reflected deeply upon it, and then they could understand, feeling separation from Mahaprabhu, they were serving in separation. But really our mood is that we, generally in any temple, not only deity, but in the temple, you won't see pictures of Mahaprabhu with a shaved head as a sannyasi. The devotees want to worship the Lord in that way, with hair, dressed nicely, because who is Mahaprabhu? He's the Lord himself. And we can understand that he took sannyas to run after the conditioned souls to embrace them, to give them Krishna consciousness. For that reason, he took sannyas to be able to spread Krishna consciousness to everyone, to give the holy name to everyone. But that is Mahaprabhu's own desire, and in the book Golden Volcano of Divine Love, when Mahaprabhu takes sannyas, it's called a tragedy of separation. It's a very painful thing, especially for the devotees in Navadip. Very painful to see Mahaprabhu take sannyas and leave. And it says when Mahaprabhu went to Katwa, Mother Sachi was there standing like a statue. She couldn't move. And when the devotees came in the morning, she said, "Oh, you devotees, you take possession of this house." It's, she was devastated. So the mood of the devotees is to worship Mahaprabhu as Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. That's the first verse of Brahma Samhita about Krishna. But we are understanding that Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna. He's internally Krishna, and he has the mood and the sentiments of Krishna's devotee, in this case, Srimati Radharani. And he's always showing the sentiment of a devotee. But we don't, the devotees are actually, they don't want to see Mahaprabhu with shaved head. Just look what happened when Mahaprabhu was in Puri, and he wouldn't lie on, he would always sleep on the ground, and it gave him pain. And the devotees wanted him to sleep on a mattress or something, but Mahaprabhu refused. First, Jagannananda brought some thin mattress, and then Mahaprabhu wouldn't stay on it. Finally, they reached some compromise. I think Swarup Damodar got some of the old clothes of Mahaprabhu, and he tore up some leaves, and he put them in the leaves, and he sewed that. Because the devotees were pained to see the austerities of Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi, that he would lie on the ground, and the stones, thorns, or anything would disturb Mahaprabhu, but when they tried to correct that situation, Mahaprabhu wouldn't allow them. So like this, Mahaprabhu, when he's a sannyasi, he's a virakta sannyasi. He won't let any woman near him. He's like, he refused to meet with Pratraparudra Maharaj. He refused to meet with a king, even though the king's a devotee, and the king said, "I will give up my kingdom and go away if I cannot meet with Mahaprabhu." So the devotees are very concerned. But why wouldn't Mahaprabhu meet with the king? Because he's a Virakta sannyasi. He's thinking to meet with a king, a rich man, a Vishayi, or to meet with a woman is not the business of a sannyasi. So he was. Now, of course, our sannyasis are not like following the strictness of Mahaprabhu. Like before I spoke, I had one glass of chocolate Ovaltine. You know Ovaltine?
Yes.
I think maybe Guru Maharaj drank Born Vitas like Ovaltine, right? Devashis, here, no sound.
Yeah, Bonvita's a chocolate drink.
Yeah, so is chocolate Ovaltine. That's what I had. But it's a little, that move's a little different than Mahaprabhu or Nityananda Prabhu. Like Vrindavan Das Thakur was traveling with Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda the day before was in some devotee's house, and he ate some something like amalaki, or I forget what it was, some chutney or something. And he liked that. So then Vrindavan Das took that with him, and the next day when he went to offer that to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu said, Nityananda Prabhu said, "Where did you get this?" And he said, "Oh, I saw you liked it, so I brought some with me." And then Nityananda said, "This business of carrying food from one place to another, this is not the business of a sannyasi." And he was not the business of a renunciant. And he was very angry, just over some little incident with Vrindavan Das Thakur. You've heard of that incident?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, look how strict they are. If I like something and somebody keeps it and says, "Oh, we kept this for you," I'll say, "Oh, nice, thank you very much," this kind of thing. Although, anyway, you get the idea, Rasaraj.
Yes, I always thought that there is because it's very painful for the devotees that see the Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi. They say maybe that's the reason, but I was not sure it was something else.
Yes, so we don't worship Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi, as a thin sannyasi. We don't have the deity dressed in sannyas clothes.
Yeah.
So we worship Mahaprabhu as the opulent Lord with beautiful hair and nice clothes, and he's not dressed. He's dressed very like he was in Navadip, very elegant.
Mm-hmm.
Mahaprabhu in Navadip, he's very, what word could you use? Very dapper. He's dressed very nicely. He's very erudite. He has students. He's a little proud too.
Yeah.
Much different than Mahaprabhu's later Leela. So somebody can say, well, in Navadip, he's called Gaur Narayan. He's like Gaur Narayan. And later he's showing the mood of, a different mood. He's showing himself like to Ramananda Roy. He's showing himself as Bahir Krishna, Antar Krishna Bahir Gora. Showing himself internally as he's showing himself internally that to Ramananda Roy that he's Krishna, but externally he's showing himself with the mood and the beauty, luster of Srimati Radharani. So someone could say, well, he wasn't showing that in Navadip. So why don't we worship that supreme vision that was expressed to Ramananda Roy? That was in Puri. That was when Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi. But we say no. That is an external that is an external consideration. The internal consideration is that Mahaprabhu is the Lord himself, and just as the deities are not observing Ekadasi, they're offered everything on Ekadasi. We are not subjecting Mahaprabhu to the rigid requirements of sannyas or the clothes of sannyas. Then when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he had no shika. He had no shika. You can see it's a whole different standard. When the son of Shivananda Sen traveled to see Mahaprabhu and he offered dandavats to Mahaprabhu, he was a little disturbed. And Swarup Damodar corrected him. Swarup Damodar says, "You have your shirt on, you have your coat on, when you offer your dandavats to Mahaprabhu, you should not have any sewn garments above your waist. You know that. This is a stricture in the scriptures. But we're not following that kind of rigid worship of Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. Our devotees, they go into the altar with kurta, with chadar, with headphones. They're not following those rules so strictly. Anyway, it's the last part you can discard, but I'm giving some answer why we don't worship Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. The last week you was reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, and on that part you was reading that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking to Mukunda. And you start to mention Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the at the time that Krishna was going to visit Kamsa, he saw the clothes washer from Kamsa, and he asked for some of the clothes. The person who washed the clothes from Kamsa, and Krishna approached him and asked for some of the clothes, and he rejected, and then he was killed. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that that person doesn't have any devotion. But when I remember you explained that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that he took thousands of birth, making some tapasya to get the presence of Krishna in that birth. But then I start to think, why the person takes so many thousands of lives doing some tapasya to get the mercy to see Krishna, and then deny to give us some clothes. So some people, they actually it's the opposite. They take many births to get the darshan of Krishna, but for some positive benefit, not for the opposite. I never saw that explaining before.
Tú me puedes decir en español porque no capté todo.
Ok, cuando usted estaba leyendo Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu estaba hablando con Mukunda, y Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empezó a explicar de personas que no tienen devoción por Krishna. Y una de esas personas, él contaba que cuando Krishna fue a visitar a Kamsa, estaba la persona que lavaba la ropa de Kamsa. Tenía ropa muy bonita. Y él le pidió algunas para ponerla, pero él le dijo que no. Entonces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu le explicó que esa persona era muy pecaminosa porque en muchas vidas anteriores él estuvo haciendo austeridades para poder ver a Krishna. Pero cuando él vio a Krishna no lo satisfizo, no le dio nada. Y mi pregunta era que por qué una persona toma tanto esfuerzo por ver a Krishna y después rechazarlo, ¿no?
Because for many of these persons, they're following some rules or mandates in the scripture, and they think this is possible. But then they're not surrendered to the Lord. They're just worshiping the Lord in terms of form, not in terms of substance. Like for instance, Jarasandha. Jarasandha is worshiping Vishnu, but he fought 17, 18 times with Krishna. And each time he was defeated. But he is, or when Bali Maharaj, when Vamanadev approached him, Shukracharya said, he's going to cheat you, don't promise anything. But in the meantime, we can understand that Bali Maharaj is supposedly the guru of, that Shukracharya is supposedly the guru of Bali Maharaj. But when Vamanadev, who's non-different from the Lord, comes there, then he tells him, don't give him anything, don't worship him, it's very entangling, he'll cheat you, he'll do this. So what kind of a guru is this? He's supposedly helping him do worship and everything. He's doing all the formalities of the Vedas, but when the Lord himself is present, there's no desire to surrender to him. In fact, Shukracharya advised him, be very careful, he's going to cheat you. So this is This is what's happening. People worship Krishna. They worship Krishna in a formal way. They worship Vishnu in a formal way. But they have no intention of really surrendering to the Lord.
Okay.
It reminds me a little bit when maybe this is a bad example, but when I was in India, there were people who were related with the devotees and would always give donation, would always come, would always help, would be enthusiastic about the devotees. But if their son or daughter, especially their daughter, wanted to become a devotee and associate with the devotees, they were very against that. And yet they themselves were worshiping, joining with the devotees, offering donations and everything. But they didn't want their son or daughter to become actual practicing devotee. Because it's all based on form. They're thinking, it's my duty to worship Krishna. But when Krishna actually comes, then they're thinking, oh, wait a minute. In the case of the washerman, I got to be very careful because my master is Kamsa, and Krishna is here to kill him. So I won't do anything to help Krishna. I'll be against him. It's the worship that preceded that, the worship of Krishna that preceded that was all false. It was all just based on form, what is being said to do in the Shastra. But it has nothing to do with heart. It has nothing. Therefore we say, oh, they're pious. Then if you want to say something, you can say, oh, he was a very pious demon. He's a pious demon. He worshipped Krishna. Then what happened? Oh, well, ultimately Krishna had to kill him because he got a little out of hand. Well, nice. What happened with that devotee? Oh, Krishna killed him. Oh, okay. Well, good on him.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah. All right. Narada, how you doing?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I'm fine, thank you.
Where are you?
I'm currently in Bath, which is in the southwest of England. I'm stuck here because I don't know if you've watched the UK news, but there's a bit of a fuel crisis at the moment, so I can't really travel anywhere. So I was planning to go to the temple tomorrow, but I can't. Well, I suppose I could if I used the train, but I can't.
I saw a cartoon they had. They showed a bunch of immigrants arriving in a raft or something, and somebody from the Navy is there to meet them and says, "Can any of you drive a lorry?" So there's a few. You're in Bath. Bath is mentioned in the writings of Shakespeare, right?
Yeah, Bath is a very old city. It's very old. I mean, the Romans came here and they discovered the spring water, and so it's called Bath. The first king of all England was crowned here like 968 or something like that. There's a lot of history. Jane Austen lived here for a while and wrote novels, and actually, Maharaj, I've just not just, about 4 days ago, I returned from a trip from Ireland, and I went to Limerick to meet the devotees there. Devotees in the mat have just bought a new, I don't know if you know this, they've just bought a new building to open a new temple.
And how many devotees are there?
In Limerick, I think 10 to 12 maybe.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I can't remember his name. There's a Srila Prabhupada disciple that lives there. Gopeshwara, I think. Gopeshwara Prabhu, possibly.
Oh, Gopeshwar?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some disciples of Madhusuda Maharaj there as well. And they're really kind of got everything together. And They've just opened a new temple. Sri
What
Tata.
were you just went for?
Well, I went for a bit of a holiday.
Do you have any family in Ireland?
No. I don't
You're
think
not
I have any.
You're not part Irish?
No, not that I know of. I just wanted to go to Ireland. It's my first time out of the UK in 13 months. So I drove on the ferry, and then from Dublin, drove 2 hours to Limerick to meet the devotees, and we had a wonderful kirtan and program and prasadam, and it's really very nice actually. I was very encouraged, and enthused.
Limerick is in the countryside?
Yeah, Limerick's on the west coast of Ireland.
Oh.
It's like a town, maybe 40,000 people.
Is it near the sea?
Yeah, maybe 15-minute drive.
And there is the ocean water. Is it very cold?
I didn't go to the ocean, but I imagine so. I mean, I've never been to the United States, so the west of Ireland is the furthest west I've ever been. But yeah, it's just really encouraging, certainly in the Western world, to hear about new.
Did you ever go? Did you go to India?
Yeah, I've been to India many times. Yeah.
Okay.
Places. But to hear about new, Gaudiya Vaishnava temples opening in the Western world is quite encouraging. Yeah.
Oh, so you went to India there?
I've been to India many times. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the United States is just like that. Just like India.
Yeah. I'm sure.
All right. Okay, nice. Sometime I promised to Suvasini that when I come next time, I will go to Ireland. And actually, I was going to go to Ireland last time I was in London. I wanted to go there, but just at that moment, when I was like one day or so before I wanted to go to Ireland, then suddenly Ramai passed away. And then I had to cut short my trip and go back to here, to SoCal, to California, because Ramai was he was very dear to everyone, and I could not just not be there. He passed away. I had to come back and had to see the devotees. But otherwise, it was my plan at that time to go to Ireland. So I don't know. I would have liked to gone to Ireland, but then everybody, oh, Maharaj, you must come back. You must, please, please. So, okay.
Have you been to Ireland before?
No.
It's
this
a very
this is my misfortune. My misfortune that I could not go to Ireland. And who's the devotee from, what's his name, Ram Gopal? Where's he from?
The devotee in Ireland?
No. Ram Gopal is from, no sound, Devashis.
Sorry, Maharaj. Yeah, Ram Gopal Prabhu is from Oldham in Manchester.
Yeah, see, there's so many places I wanted to go to, like Manchester, and where I went to. Only place I went to was Harrogate, right?
Yeah, North Yorkshire.
North Yorkshire that's not anywhere near Manchester, right?
It's not far, actually. Not that far from Manchester.
So I did go to Harrogate. And do you remember the Chaitanya College or whatever it was?
Yeah, that's in Pershore in the West Midlands. Actually, we visited there just a few weeks, about a month ago, when I went to see my mother, and we went there because it's owned by the National Trust now. And when I told the people there, they asked me, "Is this your first time here?" I said, "No, I used to live here." And they asked me, "How come?" And I said, "I was one of the Hare Krishna people that lived here." they gave me the VIP treatment, and they took us to places, all the places that were, you know, like out of bounds to the public. They took us to see those places, and I filled them in on some of the history, and also debunked some of the myths that that had grown up around there. Oh. They were under the impression that that John Lennon and Yoko Ono came there, and John Lennon was pushing Yoko Ono on a swing. And I had to tell them, no, that wasn't the case. He never came there. In fact, he was murdered while we were there. You know, in the first couple of years that he was in America, living in America, and was murdered there. So he never came to Chaitanya College. But that was one of the urban myths that had grown up there. So, but yeah, so we visited there just recently.
Yeah, well, I visited there when it was a Hare Krishna. I visited there. But I haven't been to Bath. Although I tried to bathe every day, but I haven't been to the actual bathe. I haven't been to the actual Audi. I haven't been to the Audi bathing place, Bath.
Well, maybe you can visit one time, and Bath is just up the road from Glastonbury, which is a very alternative kind of place.
Is it? How far is it from London?
About 2.5 hours.
That's not so bad.
It's okay, and you can climb up the Tor like a pilgrimage to the top, and yeah, you know, actually Glastonbury is quite eclectic. There's a lot of devotees, but they're from all different parts of the world, you know. And there's lots of different stories that Jesus went to Glastonbury.
From Bath, do you go to London?
Yeah, I travel a lot. I mean, obviously I can't now because I've got no fuel, but I go usually every week. It's about a 2-hour drive up the motorway.
But do you stay in Bath, or are you with other devotees?
I stay in Bath. I have a small place here. Yeah.
Are there other devotees who live there?
Yeah, not here, but there are other devotees in Bath. Yeah. Okay.
Well, good. Anyway, like I said, I'll try to go to Ireland in the future. And if I have some time, I'll visit other places in England. Maybe I'll see the Great Wall of England. All right. Balguni. ¿Dónde está ese Gorachandra? ¿Y cómo va tu restaurante?
Bien, Maharaj. Agarrando otra vez su... I'm talking in English, in Spanish. Going well. It's slowly getting back to the normal trade levels.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Now, what should I do with this? I have half of an arepa here. What can I do with
it? That's, yeah.
I'm at a loss. What to do with this. Madhumita, she brought me the arepas, and she had, in fact, I still have those too. She had brought arepas with avocado in them. I said, but look, now the arepa is cold, and the avocado has made the arepa little moist.
No, that's wonderful, Maharaj. You just need some cheese inside and some wasakaka, which is like wasakaka?
What?
It's a sauce. It's a sauce that is done with coriander and I don't know, coriander and lemon and oil, and it's very good. And then you put some cheese on the avocado. And
what's the name of that?
Wasakaka. It's very, very technical name.
Send me that. Put that name in the chat. I will. Ishanuga, you know of that, or is this some secret?
Not really, Maharaj. I don't know exactly, because maybe that's from Caracas, the recipe. I'm from Merida.
Oh.
The secret of the wasacaca.
What's a caca? It sounds like it sounds like it sounds like some Indian prince. What's a caca? I mean, here they have. That sounds like a name in Mexico. They have many cities like names like.
Titicaca. This is wasacaca.
Maybe it's coming from Mexico, that recipe.
Yeah, that's Mexican. Oaxaca, that's from Mexico. It's the base is avocado. This Oaxaca made from avocado. It's a Mexican.
Figures. It doesn't even sound like a Spanish name. Yeah.
Oaxaca. Let's go without you want to
Maybe
make prayers.
Wahira's name.
Sounds like it sounds like Quetzalcoatl, something like that.
I have been in touch with Purujita almost daily, Maharaj, and he has been sending me photos. The devotees there are like truly amazing. They are just getting all together and cleaning the temple, painting the temple, and everybody's like doing a lot just to clean everything. And the same day they were already cooking prasadam and offering the deities. The deities were in another room, and they were serving the deities like nothing happened. It was very impressive. And when I spoke to him, he was so cool. He was so how you say, so calm about this whole situation. It was very inspiring to me, to be sincere, because it was like nothing happened. Very impressive.
How did you, I saw something came from you, but what did it come to? It came to what?
I think I put it on your WhatsApp, because I'm using the phone. Sometimes the computer doesn't want to do the Zoom thing well, so I use the phone. That's what I'm using right now.
Okay, I see it here. SeriousSeats.com. Guasacaca recipe.
Yeah. If you give that to any Venezuelan, they will know.
I think it sounds like that name is from Mexico. I don't know.
Maybe, but it's very good.
Okay. But I don't know if I don't have any just lying around right now. No guasacaca. Just.
I got a question from Anonymous.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. The story of Lord Chaitanya's unwillingness to accept the scented oil offered to him by Jagadananda Pandit, found in Chaitanya's Charitamrita Antilila, 12th chapter. Yeah. Govinda informs Jagadananda Pandit of this message, and Jagadananda remained silent, not saying a word. After saying this, Jagadananda Pandit took the jug of oil from the room and threw it down before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the courtyard and broke it. After breaking the jug, Jagadananda Pandit returned to his residence, bolted the door, and lay down. 3 days later, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the door of his room and said, Jagadananda Pandit, please get up. I want you personally to cook my lunch today. I am going now to see the Lord in the temple. I shall return at noon. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this and left, Jagadananda Pandit got up from his bed, bathed, and began to cook varieties of vegetables. My question is, how to interpret Jagadananda Pandit's behavior of staying silent and taking a break by returning to his residence, bolting the door, and laying down for 3 days?
How to interpret that? Because Jagadananda is like that. He's like it said, he's like Satyabhama. He's so moody, sentimental. You know, he he wanted Mahaprabhu, he wanted to make a mattress for Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu said, you might as well bring a bed. You know, of course Mahaprabhu wasn't going to accept that. Then he came back with all this scented sandalwood oil, and he wanted to offer it to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu said, oh, if I put this on my head, somebody will think I'm one of these tantric sannyasis who keep women. And Mahaprabhu wouldn't do that. But then Mahaprabhu told him, you take that big jug of oil that you made and you give it to the Jagannath temple, and they will use it to burn in the ghee lamps. And then they will appreciate that oil very much. I can't personally use it, but you can offer it there. But that would not satisfy, that would not satisfy Jagannananda. And he took, and then when Mahaprabhu said, then Jagannananda said, who tells you these things? Who tell you these false things? I didn't bring any oil. And then he smashes the thing. He's just like clearly, you know, Mahaprabhu has to be very careful in dealing with Jagannananda. Mahaprabhu thought, how can I get him to come out of his room? Then Mahaprabhu says, I want you to cook for me. And then when Jagannananda is cooking, offering to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu makes some comment, a little fearfully. He says, oh, you cook very nicely when you're angry. Mahaprabhu says that. And then Jagannananda keeps forcing him to take more until and Mahaprabhu was afraid to say no, because he thought if he says no and doesn't allow Jagannananda to give him more and more, then Jagannananda will again go back to his room and bolt himself inside. But Jagannananda is like that. You know, Satyabhama is like you see in Vrindavan, the mood is that Radharani is very jealous, and she reprimands Krishna, and she can, you know, she can pull his ear, she can reprimand him. And she's the principal person of all the followers, devotees of Krishna. She's the principal person. But in Dwarka, the head is Rukmini, and Rukmini, she's very polite, she's very proper in everything. And there, in Vrindavan, it's Radharani who's very moody and she'll chastise Krishna. But in Dwarka, the head is not like Radharani, it's more like, you know, Chandrabali, and she's more proper and correct and all that. That's Rukmini. And even when Krishna joked with Rukmini, you know, I think our marriage is not working out. You would have been better off marrying Shishupal. Then Rukmini became so distressed, she fainted. But Satyabhama is not like that. Satyabhama is not in the head position. She's like in a second position. But when Krishna, when Krishna brought one of those, what do they call it? Parijata flowers for Rukmini, that was fine. But Satyabhama wanted a whole bush. She didn't want just a flower. She wanted the whole plant. And Krishna, when he tried to bring the plant, he got into a big fight with Indra. Indra said, well, these plants don't leave the heavenly kingdom. And then Krishna says, oh yeah? Well, we'll just watch this. So anyway, you know, Satyabhama, Jagannananda is like that. He's moody. He's very, Mahaprabhu, he wants Mahaprabhu to enjoy. He doesn't want Mahaprabhu to suffer like a sannyasi. So that's the mood of Jagannananda. How do I interpret that? Well, you just understand. What is the mood of Jagannananda? It's all completely consistent. Mahaprabhu is very, very afraid that at any moment Jagannananda will take some offense and then fast or lock himself in his room. Or then he wanted to go, when Jagannananda wanted to go to Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu said, no, because if you go to Vrindavan, you you will speak against me and you will be angry with me and you won't come back and everything like this. And then Jagannath Swarup Damodar interceded. No, he just wants to go to Vrindavan. He's always wanted to see Vrindavan. Just allow him to go this time. He'll come back. And then finally Jagannananda was allowed to go to Vrindavan. But then look what happened in Vrindavan. He's with Mahaprabhu told him, stay always with Sanatana Goswami. So he's with Sanatana Goswami, with Rupa and Sanatana. But, then Sanatana Goswami is doing Madhukari. He's just begging some whatever people give him. But Jagannananda went to cook in a temple, and he's cooking. One time he invites Mahaprabhu. He's cooking in a temple. There he can cook. And when Mahaprabhu goes there, he's cooking in a temple and he wants to serve Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami is eating austerely, doing Madhukari. And Jagannananda is in the temple cooking. So Jagannananda invites Sanatana Goswami to come. So when Sanatana Goswami comes, he has a saffron or red turban on his head. So naturally, when Jagannananda sees that turban, that cloth, he thinks that it's Mahaprabhu's, and he goes into ecstasy, and he says, "Oh, this is Mahaprabhu's cloth," and then Sanatana Goswami says, "No, actually, it was given to me by Mukunda Saraswati," and then Jagannananda wants to beat Sanatana Goswami with a cooking pot. It's like that. And very quickly Sanatana Goswami says, no, I wanted to see a demonstration of your love for Mahaprabhu. I have no need for this saffron cloth. I don't wear it, but I just wanted to see. What is your mood? No, 1 second. What is this? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I'm on a Zoom call now to London. Okay. It's not necessary to clean here. I'm just happy to roll. I'm just happy to roll in the dust. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. All right, Dhanyavad. Trouble is, all the devotees are as old as me. Okay. My back is out today, or this or that. And it's true. Well, anyway, I talked about Jagannananda. Then very quickly, Sanatana Goswami told Jagannananda, no, I knew you have such love for Mahaprabhu, and I just wanted to see the intensity of your love. And he's also saying that quickly so that Jagannananda won't hit him on the head with a pot. I said, Jagannananda's, you have some idea of the nature of Jagannananda. Hello. Asha Maharaj. Sí, estoy en una reunión de Londres, pero trataba varias veces llamarte y nadie contestó. Okay. A little call from Ashramars. Trying to communicate with him, but he said that somebody was a technical guy was coming by to fix the internet, but the technician's car broke down, so he couldn't come. And I go, what kind of technician is that? He comes to fix he's such a good technician that his own car breaks down. This is not what we think of when we think of a technician, is it? But anyway, what time were we? We started at 10:30. Now it's 11:30, 11:45, and it's 7:45 in London. Well, we can go a little longer, perhaps. Well, we've been to Bath. We've been to... Nobody here from Ireland, no Suvasini.
No.
And
Dandavat.
Dandavat and Angamanchari, how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
My God.
Somebody in your house is being beaten. No, who's that? Your brother or sister?
Yeah, that's just my siblings playing.
Siblings.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So you're at your house. I take it you're not going to the temple, because in the temple everybody was ill, huh?
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm at home.
Yes, I hear that. So, anyway, I hope you're well. Are you well?
Yeah.
You didn't become ill, did you?
No, I'm not ill.
Oh, good. All right. Oh. Huh. So today we have a reduced number of devotees here because the rest of them are on their way back or going to the hospital, I think. I don't know. Is that true? So,
You mean where you are, Maharaj?
yeah. But here's one little indication about, again, some propaganda here, but a lot of the sports they've returned to playing full schedules. And a lot of those players on those teams, they made them all get vaccinated. And strangely enough, among those players that were vaccinated, you don't hear about practically you never hear about anybody who can't play or is suffering from some disease. They're all vaccinated and they're all going the whole season without missing any playing time. So then if it's happening on a big scale, because some of these teams, there are 122 players, and they've been playing like in here it's a what you would call it is a misinformed form of cricket, I guess, baseball. But they've been playing over 100. They've been playing now 180 days, and they're not missing anything. They're not missing. Basically, occasionally one or two people may miss a game because they're following some protocol they associated with somebody who had COVID. But generally speaking, none of those guys are missing games because of disease. Why? Because they've been forced to get vaccinated. So, I don't know. This is my own bad propaganda. Anyway, I promised I wouldn't return to that. It's a matter of individual choice. If someone desires to become ill, they can do so. It's their individual choice. Any more questions before I get into more problems, more difficulties?
Dandavat Gurudev.
Dandavat.
I have one question actually. Do you believe the astrology, or Gurudev or Guru Maharaj said anything about astrological things, or because I don't know.
Do I believe that they said anything about it? Well, actually, we don't follow astrology, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what was the book he wrote? Or
Surya Siddhanta.
Huh?
Surya Siddhanta.
And does that have any reference in it to astrology?
It's the book on astrology.
Okay.
He wrote a commentary on it.
Okay, that's by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.
Yeah.
Govinda Maharaj, he knew about astrology, but he advised me not to concern myself very much with astrology. And he said the biggest cheaters, I don't want to offend anyone, but he said the biggest cheaters in India are Jyotishas and Ayurvedic doctors. He said that they were the biggest cheats in India. So, I mean, if you like, you can read about astrology, or you can follow astrology if you know somebody who's competent, if you so desire. There's no law against it. But I myself, I don't want to involve myself, because then I'll start thinking, oh, this is auspicious and this is inauspicious, and I should do this and I shouldn't do that. And I may confuse myself about doing something that's important for the Vaishnavas, for the devotees. Because if I'm really concerned about devotion, I will, even if they tell me to do something, if I'm supposed to do something that's inauspicious, I will do it anyway if it's necessary for devotion. Like if they tell me, we're leaving on Thursday, we're going on a trip, and I will not say, oh, Brihaspati Bar, I cannot go on Brihaspati Bar. I will not say like that. So but I know something about astrology. If you ask me, what was your Rasi? I can tell you all that things, but I don't really care very much about it. But some people have interest in it. It's if they like one of the devotees. She was here and she'd always tell me, "Oh, this is a very bad time because this is transiting." Like, what did they Satya? They say, what is it? Saraswati or something like that. What's the name? You know that. For 1 year, you're going through what's called, what is it?
Saraswati Maharaj.
Huh?
Saraswati. 7 years, very terrible.
Is it 7?
Yes,
And it has to do with Saturn, right?
exactly. Yeah.
But I don't
Can, under,
care.
can understand you're not into that, Maharaj, because you're not meant to say the name of that planet. It's meant to be inauspicious to even say the name.
All right. Well, but for me in my chart, that planet is not inauspicious. I'm a sannyasi. Sannyasi means renouncing things, and that planet has something to do with renunciation. So I don't care what's. I can say that. And besides, they here in the United States they named a car after that planet. I think they stopped making. I think they stopped making it now, but. But yeah. Why? What do you, Ragamoyi? What do you want to? What do you want to ask about astrology?
It's okay. I got it, Gurudev. Actually, I'm not so much interested about that. But I was interested to know about Gurudev or Guru Maharaj. What's their perspective about that?
Well,
Because you know.
Govinda Maharaj knew about astrology.
Mm-hmm.
He knew about astrology, and he could tell you things.
Jyotir Bhushan.
Huh?
One of his titles was Jyotir Bhushan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gurudev. I got it.
Yeah, because anyway, I'm wearing one ring here. What is that ring? It is Chuni. You know Chuni? Ragamoy. You know that name, Chuni?
I don't know about that, but I know some of the stone people use means in India, in Bangladesh, it's very common.
Yeah. This is I think called Chuni. It means ruby.
Ruby. Oh yeah.
Anyway. But Guru Maharaj didn't have any interest, and Govinda Maharaj told me that if you go to a Jyotish, they will give you bad advice usually. But if you want to read something about it yourself, then you can read something. Especially you can read your Bengali, so. One time Govinda Maharaj, there was a book fair in Kolkata, and he asked me, buy one book called Ratnakatha. Talk about jewels. So it was in Bengali. And I bought that book for Govinda Maharaj because he wanted to read something about me, about myself, and he wanted to give me some advice. So anyway, he read it. But he told me, better if you don't wear any stones, better you don't give any importance to this. That's what he told me. But he knew all about it. And of course, Govinda Maharaj, he did wear stones. He had a kavacha with stones, and he had rings. So, but he knew about it. He didn't believe in Jyotishas. And he said Jyotishas are big cheaters. But I don't say that every devotee who knows about astrology is a cheater. Some of them know something and some of them don't know so much, but sometimes. Who in London knows about that? What's that?
Gadadhar Pandit, he knows something about that. And we have one devotee, Natabara. He's Jyotish.
Jai Lalita, she told me something. She must know
Study
something.
from astrology.
Huh?
She knows on astrology.
Okay. Who's talking now?
Ishanuga.
Oh, Ishanuga. How come Jaya Lalita, when you were talking, it said Jaya Lalita, but she's not in your house, huh?
No. I'm in London, but not in her house. And I was studying a little bit astrology with Purjit Prabhu.
Uh-huh.
And I know a little bit about it. Yeah. But sometimes it's better not to know, really.
Where are you from?
I'm from the Canary Island. I was living in Venezuela, and now I'm in London.
Okay, so I was in Margarita in Venezuela because I was invited there that Antarjami had some devotees there. And in the meantime, Purujit had one place in Caracas where he was teaching about astrology.
Yes, I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So finally they combined Purujit. That was how more or less how the Caracas temple began, because they brought the devotees from Margarita to Caracas, and they brought the devotees also from Purujit's, astrology thing, and combined everything, and then started the temple. And the temple was very nice. They started. I don't know. Do you remember that?
Yes, I was in Caracas. I visited only once in Margarita, but I was in Caracas all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so then we brought Antarjami brought all the devotees from Margarita, the people I think Dira Krishna and I don't remember, maybe Balaram was with him, I don't remember.
I think by that time I left the country.
Oh, you left the country?
Yeah.
And you live in the Canary Islands?
Yes. In fact, my island now is a volcano was burst, and it's a really bad situation right now. But our family home is safe, but so many people are really in very bad condition. And then I left Venezuela to go back to my parents' house in Canary Island, and then I ended in Ishanuga house.
Well, you're visiting Ishanuga's house now?
No, before.
Not now. But when I decide to live in London, I just asked permission to Gurudev, and Gurudev gave me his blessing to come here. And then I was living in Devashis and Ishanuga house for like 3 months or something like that. And then now I'm living alone.
Did you also know one devotee named Kamala Kanti?
Oh yes, I met her in Venezuela. Yes.
Okay,
and her sister.
She also went to Spain to take care of her parents.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same Kamala.
She used to be with Pramana.
I don't know. I met her.
Okay. Anyway, I'm glad to meet you, hear you, and so you study something about astrology there with Purujit.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked to Purujit many times about these things, but actually,
sometimes it's really.
Here's what my feeling is about astrology. If you go to an astrologer, they can tell you everything about your past. They can say, I once went to a Gaudiya Math temple in Baghbazar Gaudiya Math, and when I was invited to eat something there, and then when I was washing my hands, one man in a gamsha, he approached me, and he said, he said, you studied this. He told me what I studied, and he said, you graduated this. And he told me many things about myself, and I never saw the man before. I never talked a word with him. And I told Govinda Maharaj that also, and Govinda Maharaj told me, oh yeah, he knows something about Jyotish. He said he's actually something real, because Govinda Maharaj didn't know him, but just what I told him about the conversation. I didn't say a word, and the man could tell me all these things. You graduated in this year, you graduated this and this and that. And he was right. So my feeling is about astrology. They can tell you things about the past. They can tell you this happened and that happened and this happened. Oh, you're right. But that's the past. But if you ask them, they cannot say anything about the future, or if they say something about the future, a lot of times they're completely wrong. So then what is the use? I already know about the past. I've already lived it. I don't have to ask somebody to tell me about the past. Oh, you did this and you did that. Oh, how incredible. Well, you know something? I know that too. I know that about my past. I know what I did. And I'm not really, forget the past that sleeps. I'm not really so interested in the past. And about the future, near the future dream at all. So I'm not thinking about the future. I want to know I want to live in the present. And I'm not really concerned about these things so much. To me, it's all, what can you say? It's like some kind of decoration, like a lankar. But I'm not so concerned about it. And then they might tell me something that I don't want to hear, because, what do I want to hear? Something that's going to change the way I think about something. I don't want to necessarily know that. But I'll tell you one thing I heard when Srila Prabhupada, it was one time, I remember Srila Prabhupada told me this. He said, and remember, Srila Prabhupada left this world in 1977. But before, 1 or 2 years before he left the world, he went to see, or he was able to have some meeting with Indira Gandhi. And he wanted to ask Indira Gandhi to do certain things to help him be able to, help the mission. He wanted to ask Indira Gandhi certain things to help the devotees in India. And Indira Gandhi started out by saying, well, they say some of your people, she said, I've heard they're from the CIA. And Govinda and Srila Prabhupada said, that's not my business, that's your business. He says, I don't know these things, but it's not my business, it's your business. And then Prabhupada said he wanted to ask Indira Gandhi for help, but he said she was frightened. He said, like a child. She was very frightened. And this is unusual, because normally we think of Indira Gandhi as very fearless, but she was frightened because Prabhupada said some of her astrologers told her that she would be assassinated. I remember he told me that. And remember, he left in 1977. When was Indira Gandhi assassinated? Like 1983 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 83.
Yeah. So it was like 6 years later or 7 years later. But I remember Prabhupada told me I wasn't able to ask for her help because I had to give her comfort, just like someone gives comfort to a little child, because she was frightened, because her people told her that she would be assassinated. And I remember Prabhupada telling me that, so I didn't hear it from somebody else. I heard that directly from Srila Prabhupada. He told me that. So somebody knew something, right? This was 6-7 years before she was assassinated. Somebody told her that according to her astrological chart, she would be assassinated. Is that not right? Otherwise, why would she be so frightened? And why would Prabhupada tell me that she was like a child and he had to comfort her and she like this? I remember that conversation, and I didn't think so much about it. I mean, Prabhupada described it. I remember clearly because Prabhupada said I wanted to ask for her help for our mission, but I had to give her so much comfort like a child. I was not able to like talk freely with her. And then I remember I was in Florida or something like that, 1983, and I saw the news. Indira Gandhi assassinated by one of her own guards or something, bodyguard. Assassinated by one of her bodyguards. I think a Sikh bodyguard.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So how did she know about that? And how did she tell Prabhupada about that? How did she know about that 7 years before it happened? You know, nobody sent her a note or anything. It was an astrologer. So apparently there are some people who know about these things. But I will ask a question. Would you really want to know that, like, next week somebody's going to kill you? I wouldn't want to know that. You know? Because it wasn't put in the form of a possibility. This could happen, so if you don't go anywhere near, you know, don't go anywhere near Cork in 2 weeks. No. Wasn't said like that. So I wouldn't want, personally, I wouldn't want to know. You said, it would, if you told me, I think it would ruin my day. You know, if they said, this astrologer says you'll be assassinated, what would you like? Oh, I'll have a Coke.
Maharaj, can I have a question?
Yeah, as long as it's not more. I was just answering before Ragamayi. I mean, I don't mind. I think astrology can, you know, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur knew about it. Srila Govinda Maharaj knew about it. One day Prabhupada asked me, one day I was going to go on traveling and preaching, and there were many holidays coming up, but that day I could leave, and I said to Prabhupada, "Oh, but today is not a good day to leave, or tomorrow is not a good day to leave." And Prabhupada said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's Brihaspati Barbel. It's Thursday. You're not supposed to begin traveling on that day." And then he said, "My Guru Maharaj followed everything. He followed everything. He knew all these things. Then Prabhupada said to me, "Do you follow everything?" I said, "No." And then he said, "Then why just this thing?" He said, "Go tomorrow." He told me to go. And I left that following day. And on the trip, I had many problems too. But so what? I had some problem. It's true, actually, by coincidence or whatever. I had some problems on the trip. That we had an Indian Jeep which was not reliable, and it broke down once or twice, and we had to fix it on the trip and everything on that first day. But the whole purpose of the trip was very successful. So the fact I'm not supposed, and there was no other day I could leave except Thursday. So I left on Thursday. Anyway, your question, Gaura Chandra.
It's kind of a follow-up. Let me see if I have one.
Yeah, they say that, you know, what is auspicious and what is inauspicious, the difference is like between wet stool and dry stool.
I'm very glad that you're mentioning all these points, Maharaj, because sometimes I wonder myself. I like very much the way that you deal with these with all these subjects that sometimes are very intense among devotees and the people in general. So, but will you consider something like this to be right in regard of these kind of subjects, like, you know, astrology, homeopathy, all these kind of things that are, you know, there might be something there, but it is something that we might respect, but we should not pay any attention. At
Well,
least not to.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
Okay.
that. I would say I know certain devotees
Mm-hmm.
who have studied homeopathy,
Mm-hmm.
and they know about it,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do. Sometimes they do things very good with homeopathic medicine. I don't think that's bad. If somebody is able to take homeopathic medicine and it works for them, fine. But me, I don't know. I don't know anything about homeopathy. There are no homeopath. There are no homeopathy. There's no farm. Oh, maybe I think actually I'm wrong. There is one pharmacy, homeopathic pharmacy that I saw in in Santa Cruz. But I don't know anything about homeopathic medicine. But I don't think it's so. I don't think it's bad to follow homeopathy. That
Well,
doesn't.
I mean that was just an example, but I like very much the way that you are being very respectful for all these kind of things. That to me, I don't have that kind of understanding of any of those, and I don't regard them very much interesting to my little mind. But
Well, some things I experimented with and I found were very good. Like for instance, my health was bad and I took probiotics. And then my health became actually very good from taking probiotics. Then it was, but I don't ever compromise. I always become fanatic. So, all right, I took the probiotics. Then I thought, imagine this. And then I thought, okay, before I was taking tea, but tea has caffeine in it. So I think I'll cut out tea. So I cut out tea. And then I started taking things like rooibos, rooibos,
Mhm.
red bush tea, but it doesn't have any caffeine. It's not really tea. It comes from South Africa. And then I started taking lactose-free milk, and I started taking, what is it? Cashew nut yogurt and stuff like that. And then even somebody gave me this. Look. Somebody brought me this called probiotic plant shake, banana and date. And it's actually a little sour, but tastes good. So if I try anything, I have to become fanatic.
I just want your guidance in how to deal in a respectful way of these kind of subjects, that especially with the devotees, because if it's somebody that I don't care, I cannot care less about their
So what do you
well-being or anything.
respectfully?
But I always want.
Sometimes it's impossible to be super respectful with. I mean, I worship the devotees, but sometimes it's impossible to be super respectful with them. Look what they told to Devashis. Oh, you'll be dead in a few years, right?
Yeah.
What is
one of my dearest and oldest friends. Thank you, Prabhu.
Is he a devotee?
Yeah. He said, "Oh, you have taken a death sentence." He said.
Ah.
Well, thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, somebody says that, but one of our devotees, his wife is in England because her father and her brother all died of this disease. So he told me, and he was before one of these persons against the vaccine. And then he told me later, I think everybody has to take the vaccine. So look, he swung from one thing to another. So I don't know. I generally try to avoid taking medical advice from the devotees. Like some of my dear
That's a very good advice.
Yeah, so one of my dear godbrothers, he told me, "Oh, you just have to take
Yeah, chlorine.
what is it? Hydroxychlorine."
Yeah, chlorine, basically. Bleach. Take bleach.
Yeah, bleach.
I mean, yeah. Oh, my point is that, I have seen many of these things, and many of these coming from people that I really love and I really basically worship, because they are, they're very dedicated to the service of the
Well,
Lord.
all I can tell you about that is what Guru Maharaj wrote in one of his books. God save us from our friends. Do you know that quote? Have you heard that quote?
Yes.
You all heard that quote. I think it's very good advice. God save us from our friends. I mean, my friends are very kind, and they're very caring, and they're very sweet. And the devotees, I would rather be with the devotees than anywhere else. I'm nowhere else. I don't go, if there's no devotees at a place, I don't want to be there. I want to be with the devotees. But you have to understand that, people come from all different classes and from all different backgrounds, and just in general, the devotees are nut jobs.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't want to be too what is the word? Condemnatory about the devotees.
Just say what you feel,
we
man.
leave the critics to someone else.
But if you follow everything the devotees tell you, you'll wind up in wooden pajamas.
Easily. 3-day tops. No, but I really learned a lot from the way that you deal with all these kind of ideas in a very soft manner, like
soft.
I don't know. I really appreciate. I want to thank you for that.
I'm one of the most irreverent persons around. How can you say
Yes, you
soft?
are, but you are very kind, and that's
kindly irreverent.
It is very, very good to learn from kindness. I have no kindness in my heart, so every time that I see something like that, it's like I mean, no.
Yeah, well, I'm also a little sentimental and all those kind of things, but not about things not about things I disagree with. I'm not sentimental about those. I just like.
No, whereas here in Venezuela, we have a famous astrologer. His name is Yana Sukriti Das. You know him? He's one of your brothers.
Yana Sukriti, yes. I know
brother.
him.
Yeah, he's a very famous astrologer in the devotees. He's the one, if you ask many of the Venezuelan devotees, they will pass to Yana Sukriti Das to know about astrology. And I can recommend that to go to China.
What about Jnana Sukriti? I remember some of the devotees used to call him Lagata Sigrita. No, that's somebody else. Agyata Sukriti. And this is Jnana, what's his name? Jnana Sukriti? Huh? Bhagavan, I can't hear you.
Yeah, he's your brother.
What's his name?
Yeah, he's in Caracas. He's working with Yana Sukriti Das.
Gyata Sukriti. Gyata Sukriti, right?
Yana Sukriti.
Gyana or Gyata?
Yana.
Okay.
Gyana.
Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Diana, de conocimiento.
Oh, is Krishna Mohini speaking?
Yes, Krishna Mohini and Ishanuga.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, yeah, I knew him from many years ago. Long time ago, I knew him. What about him?
He's a good astrologer, man. He's a good man. Here in Venezuela, most of the devotees pass.
Very good. Yes.
He's a good astrologer?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Okay, that's nice. I mean, if somebody's a good astrologer, it's better than a bad astrologer. If somebody's a good astrologer, it's better than a bad astrologer. At least from a good astrologer, they maybe say something that has some validity. But most of the devotees, if you listen to what they say, you won't get any information because they're like me, they don't know very much about it. So I don't.
And now I think it's ISKCON president. Is the one who's in charge of one of. He's always there in the front of the ISKCON temple.
Yeah, like
and yeah. And he's a good friend. He's a good devotee. He's always preaching. He's always preaching. He's always talking about Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. And he told me he learned astrology from Srila Govinda Maharaj.
Yeah, one time Govinda Maharaj told me something about my chart. Govinda Maharaj did. So that was useful.
Yeah, and then Gyana Suriti told me that he learned a lot from Srila Govinda Maharaj.
What?
He said one of my best teachers. He told me that he learned a lot from Srila Govinda Maharaj. That one of my best teachers of astrology was Srila Govinda Maharaj.
Well, he told me something.
Yeah. It's like you say, you don't have to be fanatic, but sometimes they get you and they have to get attached to that.
Govinda Maharaj told me some good things.
Yeah.
He told me, you have this. He said, you have the sun in the sixth house. Sixth house is the house of enemies. But he says the quality of the sun is it burns all your enemies to ashes. So that wasn't so bad. I could hear that.
Yeah, that's why you're wearing a ruby, Maharaj.
No, I mean, that's not why I'm wearing a ruby. Actually, if I listen to Govinda Maharaj, I wouldn't have the ruby on. I just wear it because it's the only ring I have that's small. I don't like something big hanging on my hand. So, okay. Anyway, I'm going to end here. It's getting late. What have you made for dinner, Devashish?
I don't know. What have you made for dinner, Ishanuga?
Sabji.
Sabji. That doesn't tell us so much, but anyway.
Sabji and paratha.
Oh, nice. Very good. Sabji and paratha. Is there any potatoes in the sabji?
No, today.
No.
Oh, okay. Still, paratha is good. Okay. I'll let Devashish go because I don't want to keep him from his parathas. That's very nice.
They're not ready.
Oh, they're not ready. Well, that's actually a very good idea. Parathas are so good. Chapatis are good, but parathas are so good.
Yes.
All right. Who do we have? There's Krishna Mohini with Subhadra. Oh, Subhadra. Okay. It's getting late there. It's late for Subhadra, right?
Mm.
Krishna Mohini is very late for Subhadra, right? No sound.
It's late for Subi. She has to go to school tomorrow.
Okay. Good night, Subhadra. Buenas noches, Subhadra. Te vemos la próxima semana. Buenas noches. Buenos sueños. Ten buenos sueños. Dandavat.
Dandavat, Maharaj. Thank you for your time.
Dandavat.
Dandavat Maharaj. Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai. Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat Falguni. Dandavat Krishna Chaitanya. Dandavat Narada. Dandavat Saraswati. I hope you get better. I don't know if she is hearing this. Saraswati, te deseamos que te recuperes muy pronto.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. And Anjali in Bournemouth.
She's at Hatton Cross.
Okay. And Ragamoy, Dandavat sa todos. Ahí está incluso. There's Karuna. Oh, there's Sue Davy, huh? Is that Sue Davy? Is that Sue Davy, Ragamoy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Dhanyavad Sue Davy. I'm happy to see you. Balawachan?
Ven, ven.
Ragamoy. Balawachan.
Yes, good.
Okay. Karuna. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Okay. Chinmoy. He's the cutoff man. Okay. Well, I'll just finish it myself. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Saraswati